excited about this episode. Hey, if anybody that's listening to this knows a good hook for this beat, y'all let me know. Write something and I'll flow over it. Anywho, welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl, Kyla Coleman, aka Natural Legalista. Welcome to my zone where we break down stories from the headlines with a twist, which is just humor and gossip. Today's topic is Dirty Laundrie, the murder of Gabby Petito. So, before we jump into that, I want to address the fact that I am in pajamas right now, y'all, because it is a girls' night episode. So I'm bringing my closest homegirls on here to discuss this case with me today. And we are all lounging. We're in our clothes that we chill in, except for a couple of them that's stunting on people today, but we ain't going to get into that. All right, before we introduce the guest today, let me give y'all my self-care tip. Self-care tip is to go to therapy. We all need therapy, even if it's just a little check-in every now and again. But a therapist is often going to give you gems of wisdom and tools to use for the rest of your life. And the one tool that I've gotten, or the one gem that I've gotten from my therapist, is red flags don't change colors. So that helps me a lot, because a lot of times I'm always looking for the best in people and they'll show me their true colors. And I'm like, nah, that can't be true. But when my therapist told me that red flags don't change colors, I was like, all right. So if you see somebody, just accept them at face value. And if you see a red flag, move on. All right. So now we're going to jump into the introduction of my guests today. I have a whole bunch of them, y'all. And these are my four guests today. It was supposed to be 5, but one of my homegirls wasn't able to show up today, and that's okay. We're praying for her daughter to get better. She's suffering from a little bit of allergy issues. But yeah, so the first guest that I would like to introduce is my dog, Tiffany Roll. Hey, girl.
Hi.
So Tiffany sent me a whole curriculum vitae to read as her bio. Ain't nobody about to read all of that. Just know Tiffany went to the Florida State University. And my nickname for her is the Quiet Storm. Tiffany is that friend that will sit in the cut and listen to what's going on and then cut people down if she need to cut them down. If she need to go off on somebody real quick, she will come with the quickness. And you don't even know she coming with it. She quiet, the Quiet Storm. Okay. So, Tiffany, your curriculum vitae says you graduated from the Florida State University with a BS in interior design. Come on, girl. And you began working with professionals in the wedding and event planning space. You also started sketching again, and from that experience, you've been learning and developing your creative design skills once more, okay, by hand and digitally. Come on, picture. Come on, model. And in 2020, after helping your sister with her website, you were asked by a couple of others to design their websites, and you originally did not intend to go that route, but that's the route that God took you, and look at you now. You have your own business and you're working behind the scenes on your business and preparing to launch soon, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the name of your business?
Palm Sahara Script.
Palm Sahara Scripts. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Miss Tiffany. Now we're going to jump on to the next guest that's going to help us out. Miss Courtney Perez. Did I pronounce it right?
No, baby.
It's not Perez? Why so many R's in it then?
It's Paris.
Okay. I was trying to help, but whatever. Courtney, yes. Her nickname is the Bike Ride or Die. Courtney just had to jump somebody the other day for trying to steal her son's bike. And that's when I knew she was a ride or die.
Listen, they wasn't getting my baby's bike.
Not today. Not on today. This literally just happened yesterday, but she always been a ride or die. Courtney says that she is 35 years old and she is a wife and a mother. She's from Tallahassee, Florida, and she now lives in Houston, Texas. Courtney just started back in school, and I'm super proud of her. What you studying, boo?
I did. Psychology.
Psychology. Good job. Good job. Your favorite things are being with your family, the beach, and a good series on Netflix.
Yes. Yes.
Anything in particular you're watching?
I just finished Clickbait.
That was a good
amazing. That was good. So now I need another one.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to Charmaine. Hey, ma'am.
Hey.
How are you today?
I'm good.
This is the homie Charmaine. Let me click on her bio. Yes, Charmaine is the detective of our group. Charmaine knows a story before it even comes out, and I low-key think that she writes articles for people to research whenever something happens. But if we have a question, Charmaine knows how to answer it in less than 0.2 seconds. She's a good researcher. Charmaine is a power pusher because knowledge is power and everyone should have access to it. She is presently working as a learning specialist, with a focus on developing and facilitating training courses that are more virtually interactive and engaging. How you keep people attention virtually?
I'll tell you one thing. Virtually, you have to engage them every like 2 to 5 minutes. Where in face to face, you can see body language, so you really only have to engage maybe every 10 to 15 minutes. So it's a variety of things. Always asking for confirmation, the type of material you facilitate with. It varies. You
So
have to
how we do that
be.
on
You
a
have to have a
podcast?
variety.
How we do, like, do I just invisibly ask them like, okay guys, like how Dora the Explorer did with us, like, hey guys, what do you think about this? And then she
I
would
mean,
pause.
yes, you have to ask for feedback, using music to keep them stimulated, all kind of things.
See, this is why you get paid the big bucks. Yes, ma'am. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next guest. Shanton. Shanton or Shannon N. Davis with her astronaut pajamas on. Come on, ma'am. The Nuck and Bucker of our group.
What?
She will fight. She tried to fight me today. How you fight on somebody else's podcast? How you?
So I actually got hit first, and I was about to jump across the table, but we're not gonna talk about
Okay.
that too much.
And she an attorney, y'all. You see how she just tried? Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
She is known as the voice maximizer and is a self-proclaimed Renaissance woman. She don't got to be self-proclaimed because she really is that. I will say that about her. She is an attorney, like I said before. She's also an artiste. Sis can sing. Don't sit there and look like you don't got good vocals because you know you got good vocals.
I try to do.
Look
what
at
I
that
can when I
picture.
can.
She always be outdoing people. She ain't have to do that.
Come on.
Yes. So she educates people, empowers them, enables them, and equips them. So I'm here for it, Shannon. Um, yeah. So I skipped over a part of it. Do you guys have any self care tips that y'all would like people to know, or do y'all identify with going to therapy, like the self care tip that I gave?
I like
I
going to
identify with that.
therapy.
Yes.
I also feel like my self care tip to myself this week is to remember to love yourself in your own love language.
Yes.
We always use it
Yes.
for other people, but we have to love ourselves the same way. I love gifts, so I subscribe to like subscription boxes, so that I get surprise gifts. I'm assuming yours may be touch
It
because
is.
you go get massages,
And
so
do.
things like that.
Friend.
Affirmations.
I like
Yes.
that, Charmaine.
Yeah.
So that
And
for
my
Yeah.
me goes with the whole therapy thing. I think therapy. One of the young ladies that I know in a group in out in California has a saying that therapy is a lifestyle, and I think it is a lifestyle. So one, we need to be continually trying to better ourselves, take care of ourselves, be in therapy. But loving ourselves in our own love languages is therapeutic, right? It
Yes.
gives us
It is.
that opportunity to sort of release some things that might be heavy because we're feeling the love getting fulfilled in the way that we need to. And it's important that we do it for ourselves and not necessarily have an expectation that somebody else does it.
Come
Hmm.
on. This is why I
That's
hang with
good
them because
stuff.
they wise.
and I love it. And I was just thinking, like mine's is number one is like quality time. So when we get together, it's it fuels me. And even like when I know I told y'all already before, but I want to say it again that I so appreciate y'all just taking the time out on my birthday to just spend time because like that's what I wanted. Like just being around my people, talking to my people. Because I know we all live in different states, but when I have that time to just talk and to see y'all's faces, like that fuels me.
Yes. So, like
Yay.
Tiffany said, we're all in different states. So, two of us, Shannon is actually in studio with me today. Can y'all see my hand on her screen? I don't know. Anyway,
No, it's
Shannon's
not
here with
there.
me.
No.
We're both in Florida. Courtney and Vonda, who is not here with us today. I think Phil might have already. Yeah, there we go. Our future judge of Dallas County, Judge
Yay.
Yes.
Vonda
Yes.
Bailey Shaw. Yes. They're located in Texas, and then you have Charmaine and Tiffany that are located in Georgia. So yep, y'all didn't get to see Vonda's nickname from me, but Vonda's nickname is the Checkmate and the Big Joker. If you know her,
Fact.
she will strategize and she will sneak up on you in
Yes.
a heartbeat. If it's something she want to do, she gonna get it done and she gonna do it well. All right, so are y'all ready to jump on into the story for today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we
Let's do
have
it.
a mixed crowd here. Some of us know about this story, some of us don't. But the way I like to start my podcast off is playing a clip of the story so everybody can get acclimated, and then you guys can just jump in with commentary as we go. You ready? Ready. Let's play the first clip.
Utah released body camera video that shows a critical point in the timeline in the case of a missing Northport woman. It comes as we expect another update from Northport Police and the FBI today.
ABC Action News reporter Stassi Olmos following the new development. She has watched that body cam video. She now joins us live from Northport this morning. Good morning, Stassi.
Good morning. This really has become a national effort to find the missing 22-year-old Gabby Petito. She and her boyfriend Brian Laundrie had taken off from here in Northport on a road trip heading west, traveling through national parks. Now, we're going to get to that video of the body cam footage in just a minute, but first, let's catch you up on the details that we know so far. So, Petito documented much of the trip on her social media, and that's what we're showing you now at her family's request. We know the couple traveled through Utah and up to Wyoming, where authorities say Petito was last seen. Now, really, you're seeing a young woman having a great adventure, but newly released body cam footage shows a different version of the trip. Overnight, ABC News obtained this body cam video from the Moab City Police Department showing their response to that August 12th call. We're airing the video because it shows a crucial point in the timeline of this case. So officers pulled the couple over near Arches National Park after a call from a witness who saw the couple fighting. In the video, officers questioned Petito and Laundrie about the fight, and they both admitted to arguing and that Petito had slapped Laundrie. Petito also tells officers she suffers from anxiety. After more than an hour of questioning, officers labeled it a mental emotional break rather than a domestic assault, and no charges were filed. However, police here in Northport have named Laundrie a person of interest, telling us that he is refusing to talk to them.
You don't know what Brian knows. I mean, that's the bottom line. And we're hopeful to talk to him. He needs to talk to us. We need to know exactly where he was, where she was, their last locations. And the fact that he was back here for 10 days.
Yeah, very, very sad case. And it's actually going on in real time. So let's talk about it a little bit. And like I said, you guys can jump in whenever, but her name is actually Gabrielle Petito, but everybody knows her by Gabby Petito. Her and her boyfriend had a YouTube page together called Van Life. So she was extremely popular on YouTube, was tracking everything that she was doing. And she's also on that new trend or new wave of people turning utility vehicles into homes. So her and her boyfriend or fiance lived together in that van pictured there. Gabby was a pharmacy technician. She's the oldest of 6 children. Brian is 23 years old, Mr. Laundrie, 23 years old, and they both met in high school and got engaged in July of last year. Like the news clip said, they went on a cross-country road trip, and it was supposed to be out west. They started on July 2nd of 2021, and it was supposed to be a 4-month trip, and that was one of the reasons why they converted their van so that they can do long trips like this. Also part of the clip, we saw that they were pulled over because there was someone who reported domestic violence, and that happened on August 12th. So it was a bystander that saw them arguing and was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. So they called the police on them. And as you guys can see, the police officers decided not to step in. So what do you guys think about that so far? A couple got engaged last year, go on a road trip together, and all of a sudden she's vanished. And, well, they recently found her body, but they are not able to find him right now.
He did it. Clearly.
You said he did it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
something so far that stands out to y'all? Like something about the story that stands out?
I'm curious
I mean,
about her interaction with the police when they got pulled over. Like, what did she say, and why did the police officer release them? I
Mhm.
mean, did he sense any danger?
So they're saying that they didn't. And basically what happened is they just felt that two people needed to cool off, but that was nothing more than that. They explained to the officer they didn't want each other to get in trouble, that they just needed a cooling off period. So what the officer did was allow Gabby to stay in the van, and then they helped him find a hotel room for the night. So as long as both of them were separated, I guess they felt like it didn't pose any threat.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was my understanding that they did have to take a little break from one another for the night, which often happens when there are domestic violence issues or there's a call and the cops are told, there's been a fight or there's been an argument or something. Usually, especially if they come to the home, one person, instead of having to jail somebody, they'll have one person to leave the home for the night so they can cool off, so they can have that chance to say, okay, look, maybe we got a little heated. You know what I'm saying? But then we can calm it down. So, I mean, I don't necessarily know if there was anything else that would have given them pause to allow that cooling off period, because I believe that the goal is to try to allow that before positioning people so that they end up with charges and have that stain, on their lives.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's really a judgment call with the police officer. Go ahead, Courtney.
I think the thing that stuck out to me is what I'm saying is in the story it said that he had slapped her. Correct.
Well, she slapped him.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But she was saying she was having an emotional reaction. She has anxiety and she slapped him.
Okay. So I'm the one who doesn't know anything about this story.
That's okay.
But usually when there's physical on either side, like it's not the first. It's, you know what I mean? So that one was a red flag to me. Like, we putting hands on each other. So.
Yeah, just the body cam footage, her body language, she was visibly shaken, and he was like calm and collected. He didn't look distressed or anything. So that's why the police interaction stood out for me. But I mean, I can understand what Shannon is saying about not wanting to go straight to an arrest or charges for some of us. But
right, because it like you said, Kyla, they it's the police officer that makes have to make the decision, but there's also that element of there's only so much they can do, right, within the confines of the law.
Yep.
Well, and the thing is, we know that there's only so much they can do. We also know that they could have chosen, and like Kyla was saying, it's a judgment call. They could have chosen to make an arrest.
Yeah.
And I mean, we learned even in school, things that I learned in school, I really didn't know that, the police had so much discretion as to whether or not they would arrest or they would follow up on a certain lead and things of that sort. And they have to use, their experience, their education, what they've gone through and what they've seen in order to make those decisions. But we don't always agree with the decisions that they make. And when they make decisions, they don't always have a positive outcome.
Yeah. I'm wondering, though, if it would have been a situation that I was arguing with my hypothetical dude or whatever, and I admitted to the cop that I slapped him, would I be in handcuffs in jail?
Most definitely.
You'd be on the ground.
I would be, it would turn into a possible lethal situation.
Let me tell you where I've seen differences. I've seen differences when we're looking at race. Clearly, we say that there are definitely clear differences with race, but there are also differences with male versus female.
Yes.
So what I've been seeing is, and I said absolutely you would be in there, and the only reason I said absolutely is because you're a black female.
Yes.
But then when I thought about the fact that you're a female, it's not so absolute. You would have, if you had admitted that you put hands, you know what I'm saying? It's quite possible that male would have still been the one that they would have chose to arrest, or that they would have chose not to arrest anyone. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've seen that situation happen where the woman has admitted that a female has admitted that she put hands on him first, and no, let's just give the cooling off period.
Yeah, it goes back to that theory. We talked about another case on the podcast a few episodes ago where the statistics of men that are involved in domestic violence where they're actually the victim and they don't feel heard. They don't feel like, they are manly if they go to the police and say, hey, this woman is putting her hands on me. So it kind of feels that same way when an officer's making a judgment call. Oh, she probably just slapped him, but it didn't hurt. He'll be all right. Let's just make him,
It's akin to rape. It's that same sort of idea that, okay, they might hear out women, but then with men, it's like seriously, dude, I mean, there have been people who have had conversations saying, how could she have possibly raped you? As if our bodies don't have, you know what I'm saying, reactions
Exactly.
because
Mm-hmm.
they just are. So, there's a lot, I think, that goes into the judgment calls that officers are to be making.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder though if that officer looks back on it and is like, dang, if I would have just arrested one of them, Gabby could be
Yeah.
alive today.
Yeah.
Like that would
I'll
probably
say I
haunt
don't
me.
think
It's
it would
that.
have made a difference.
Why not?
I think it was he was it's a ticking time bomb. And kind of back to your comment earlier about red flags. Red flags are just flags when you are wearing rose-colored glasses.
Come on,
So if
Charmaine.
she would have gone right back into that relationship, this was something that was inevitable.
So it might have
Mm-hmm.
delayed it, but it wasn't gonna
Yes,
prevent it.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't think so.
Wow.
So do we know how
Mm-hmm.
long they've been together?
Yes.
Because they met in high school, right?
Yeah, they met in high school. She was 22, he was 23. So they've known each other at least for the length of high school, and they got engaged last year in July.
But is
Um,
there information about how long they've actually been a couple?
no, not that I saw, but I'm pretty sure that information's out there.
Okay.
But obviously, that's still a good amount of time to know somebody. Let's just say
To
you
know,
met
yeah.
even your last year, your senior year of high school to 22, 23. That's still a good little chunk of time. Um, but I would venture to say that probably who they were in high school is who they still are now because they're still fairly young. Have y'all ever seen people that were aggressive and like crazy in high school and they still were aggressive and crazy as adults? I know that
I've
happened in
talked to a lot of
Tallahassee a
people
lot.
in this.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, the last time that Miss Petito talked with her dad was August 21st, and she FaceTimed with him. And he didn't notice any red flags, is what he's saying. He thought everything looked regular. They were cool. August 25th was the last phone call she had with her mom. Mom didn't see any red flags on the phone call. However, on August 30th, she received a text message from Gabby, and her mom said that she thought the language was a little bit off, like she wasn't sure that it was really her texting. And it wasn't even really a long text message. It was just something that was asking about her grandfather, but she referred to her granddad by his first name and not what I guess whatever pet
Mm-hmm.
name she would normally call him. So mom was just like, this is a little odd. But she, I guess looking back on it now, thinks of it. But at the time, she was just like, this is just kind of strange. So that's the timeline of events for that. Brian, Mr. Laundrie, actually returned to Florida on September 1st, and she was not with him. He returned back to Florida in the van that they both shared together, but she wasn't with him. And
And what did he say?
that's what
Like,
I'm trying
what
to
did he?
figure out.
Nothing.
Yeah, they allowed him to come on back, and I mean, the family's kind of been hush mouth about it. They've told
Okay, so
police, "Hey, here's our attorney. Talk to our attorney."
help
But
me
by the
understand.
time they
Okay,
even spoke, he was already gone again.
Yeah,
By the time they reached out and allowed police to come, and this is, we're all reading, so it's what I at least have seen, is that they wouldn't say anything. They weren't being helpful, and then when they did reach out to police to say, hey, you can come on over, they told police that he was gone and they didn't know where he was.
yep. So September 1st, he came back. September 11th is when her family was like, yo, what's up? Like, where is she? And they filed the missing persons report. September
okay.
14th, he told his family he was going hiking in a reservation here in Florida, and they haven't heard from him since September 14th. So actually, he is now listed as a missing person.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like September 18th when they allowed for police to come over to the family's house, but the attorney gave them information that they didn't know about his whereabouts.
Yep.
Why did that take
So
so long?
was he right? Like was he not a suspect? Were they not watching him? Were they not? I don't
They say he's a
understand
person
how.
of interest, but they're not wanting to name him as a suspect. And I think it's because they're wanting for him to voluntarily turn himself in if he's still out there alive by saying, hey, we don't know if you did it or not, but we just want to talk to you. Like how they do on the first 48 in movies.
He did it.
Yeah.
Go.
You said what?
Bring
He
all
did
your
it.
white
That
people
is
with
not a
you.
missing person.
'Cause y'all niggas gotta exit right now.
Is that what you feel about this? Oh God.
It was Kevin Hart saying that.
Oh Lord.
Oh, I was
who's the audio?
ready to fight. Wait a minute.
You.
So all of us were sitting here like,
Play the clip again.
Yeah. Exactly.
Here's the clip
Go.
again.
Go. Bring all your white people with you. 'Cause y'all niggas gotta exit right now.
Oh God. Kevin Hart, I can't. Anywho, so Gabby's body unfortunately was found, fortunately and unfortunately, but it was found on September 19th. This was 8 days after she was reported missing. And she was found in the Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. Shortly after that, her death was ruled a homicide, and there is a warrant out for Mr. Laundrie. But like I said before, he's named as a person of interest, but the reason why the warrant is out is because of activities after she was suspected to be dead. So they haven't said exactly if he used her card or not, but they just said it was fraudulent use of a credit card. But they're not saying it was hers or not, but I'm pretty sure he used her card. He withdrew, they said, about $1,000. And yeah.
Oh. That's not going to get him very far.
No, not 1,000. I think we have, wait, let's get through a couple of more. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Considered a criminal homicide investigation after a coroner officially confirms the remains found in the Bridger Teton National Forest are hers, while in the Florida swamps.
We're out here searching for Brian Laundrie.
With no confirmed sightings of Gabby Petito's missing fiance, who's considered a person of interest in her death, law enforcement teams resumed their search of Florida's 25,000-acre Carlton Reserve, where Laundrie's parents said he went last week. Authorities are using drones, K-9 units, and all-terrain vehicles to access remote areas of the park.
Terrain's very difficult. Essentially, 75% of it's underwater.
The Okaloosa County Sheriff also posting this grainy black and white photo captured on a trail camera that shows an unidentified male backpacking in the woods hundreds of miles away. The now viral photo led to an extensive search of the area, but came up empty. On Monday, FBI agents carried out a search warrant on the home Brian and Gabby shared with his parents. Laundrie has not been charged with a crime, nor spoken to law enforcement. The case has captured national attention, with amateur detectives combing the internet for clues and sharing tips and theories on TikTok and other social media platforms, including this viral YouTube clip captured inadvertently by Kyle Bethune, showing a white van similar to Gabby's near the campground where her body was found.
I saw the white van, they're seeing flip-flops and the doors opening, but I think it was very, instrumental to get us to where we are at this point.
Yeah. The power of social media, y'all. That's really what helped them find Gabby. It reminds me, didn't we have something like this that happened last year during the height of the pandemic, where people were solving crimes and stuff? Was it the Tiger King thing? Yeah. Didn't social media help with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that was like a don't F with cats.
Yes, don't F with cats. That one. From a murder that happened in 2014 where people created Facebook groups to figure out who was killing cats.
Wasn't that a series
people
on Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
That was a series on Netflix, right?
Yep.
Can I ask y'all a question? We're all black people here.
We are.
Right,
and I went and got a tan yesterday, so I feel like I can really speak on this matter because I'm a little
Girl.
bit browner
But
today.
you are not dark skinned.
So
Cut that part out.
I've seen
Girl.
some stuff online where people have not the issues that she is dead. It's just that the issues of the coverage that she's gotten, because this isn't a unique case as considered to other people's cases, as in the media attention that you're getting. And the criticism that I hear is that because she's a pretty young white girl.
That's, yeah.
How do y'all feel about that?
I 100% believe, agreed with that. This is why, apparently, I ain't know much about it because I'm not watching news, but apparently it's everywhere. And it's there's a whole bunch of us that go missing like this and we hear nothing.
Yeah.
And it was quick.
Very quick. Because, like I said, what is it, 8 days after she was reported missing, they found her, immediately. Where we have some people that have outstanding cases that have been missing for months, for years, and before they can even be reported as a missing person, they are going through all of this paperwork or red tape before we can even say that they're missing. So, wow. I did want to note, and I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but Dog the Bounty Hunter is involved in this case now. He is trying to find Mr. Laundrie. Dog the Bounty Hunter actually recently got married. He was on his honeymoon, coincidentally, in Florida when all of this stuff took place. So he has taken a break from his honeymoon to help find Mr. Laundrie.
I saw that.
Okay.
So do you ever think? I've never heard of a national manhunt for a person of interest. They didn't even call this dude a suspect.
Well, I messed
I'm
up
so
earlier
confused.
with it. The reason why they have a warrant out for him is saying that he knowingly and with intent to defraud used one or more unauthorized access devices, namely a Capital One bank debit card and personal identification numbers for 2 accounts.
Yeah, that's a credit card. You don't get a national manhunt for credit
So
card
they
fraud.
after him, right? So
Right.
they after him for credit card fraud, but he not a suspect in this missing girl case.
Right,
Look,
just the
don't
person of
F with
interest.
cats and don't F with pretty white girls.
Because they will find you. They won't find us, but they will find
Right.
you. Yeah. So, actually, the criticism that Phil was talking about, we have a person that talked about this on national TV. Her name is Joy Reid, and we have a clip of that. It's actually put Joy Reid under a lot of scrutiny for saying stuff that a lot of people felt.
I wonder why.
If you've been watching the news for the past few days or on Twitter or TikTok, you're probably familiar with the name Gabby Petito, the 22-year-old aspiring social media influencer who was reported missing after her fiance returned from their van life excursion without her. On Sunday, human remains believed to be Petito's were found in a national park in Wyoming. An autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow to confirm the identity. Now, it goes without saying that no family should ever have to endure that kind of pain, and the Petito family certainly deserves answers and justice. But the way this story has captivated the nation has many wondering, why not the same media attention when people of color go missing? Well, the answer actually has a name: missing white woman syndrome, the term coined by the late and great Gwen Ifill to describe the media and public fascination with missing white women like Lacey Peterson or Natalie Holloway, while ignoring cases involving missing people of color. Joining me now is Derica Wilson, co-founder and CEO of the Black and Missing Foundation, and
Go ahead and
Lynette
cut it
Gray
right
Bull,
there.
founder.
So, how do y'all feel about that? I mean, it's the same thing that Phil said, but I just learned that term this week. I'd never heard of missing white woman syndrome.
Neither had I, but I think that, I mean, we all knew it. It's like something we all know in our souls. You know what I'm saying? That there is a major difference in the way that people of color are treated, in the way that they're respected or not respected, in the way that there's concern for their livelihood, concern for them being okay. There's a huge disparity, and we've seen it over and over again. We continue to see it over and over again. We know very well that had that been a black woman, a black male, a black child, we would not have gotten, there wouldn't have been this much coverage, and there certainly wouldn't have been answers this quickly. And we know there's a major disparity. There's a major difference. Even if we got answers this quickly, how would we know it? You know what I'm saying? Would that be newsworthy? Would it be, in national headlines? We probably wouldn't even know it. It would happen and be done.
Right.
But everything pops up. Everything that pops up that is national, that's big, that we're supposed to pay attention to, doesn't have our names and our faces attached to them.
Exactly.
So I had 2 thoughts on it as Shannon was speaking. One of the thoughts came to me. I feel as if we are indoctrinated with this missing white woman syndrome, even as black women. Do y'all remember JonBenet Ramsey?
Yes.
So we were taught as kids to care about JonBenet, right?
Yes.
Do you guys remember any black little girls or any other girls of color that were missing during that time? Because I'm sure that there were children that were missing as well. But JonBenet Ramsey only got the attention for it. Which is nothing wrong with bringing attention to people that are missing, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that they are found, whether it's, safe or if they are deceased, to, go after the correct people. But I think that this brings into the matter, all lives matter. So what about all of our lives here? So if you're saying all lives matter, all of that stuff, when we're saying we're not being equally represented in the people who are disappearing or, kidnapped or whatever it is, why aren't we showcasing all of the lives that, matter?
And I think it goes into not just equally represented, but equitably represented, right? Because equal representation means we all have the same representation put out in front of us. If it's equitable, then we can all access that same representation. And I think there's a difference. If you put an attorney, for instance, you put an attorney in front of 2 sets of people and say, hey, both of you can hire this attorney, right? But whomever has the money is the one who's going to be able to make the hire. That's equal opportunity. We both have an opportunity to hire that attorney, but we're not necessarily equal if we don't have the money. Equitable says both of you can hire the attorney and you pay what you got.
Got you.
And I think that because things have been less than equal for so long, the only way for us to get to equality is to actually have some equity. You know what I'm saying? And that is a long road, but I think it's a road that we have to keep on trying to pave.
Well, the crazy thing is that we have this case going on, and we actually have a Black woman that's missing that just recently came to light, which is Kelly Price. Have you guys heard about that?
Yes.
Yeah. Kelly Price has been missing for a month now. And I think we have some pictures of Kelly Price just in case people don't know who she is. But she is an icon, especially in the Black music world with the music that she's placed out. She's still very relevant, too. Like, we all know and love Kelly, but we had no clue that she was missing until recently. And why is that? This is a whole celebrity. This is a person who's made a name for herself, and we're just hearing about it.
I have two thoughts on this. Right. So number one, I don't understand why the police haven't actually confirmed that she's missing or not. I keep hearing stories. The lawyer says she isn't missing. She's recovering. Her family is like, no, she isn't. But it seems like if there's a missing persons report, the police should investigate and confirm, yes, she's missing. No, she is not missing.
So we got some breaking news with that.
Okay.
This was set to, today's the 26th, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is at 1:34. Says, here you go.
Oh, goodness.
Can you read that? It says, she's safe. Kelly Price update. Singer returns after cops said she was missing following COVID diagnosis reveal on Instagram.
Oh, wow. Well, that makes me feel better because as of up to us taping, you know, it was that she was given, or her attorney and her fiance.
This was literally 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was going to say her attorney and fiance were saying, oh, she's good, but they weren't showing her. I literally won't feel better until I physically see her saying something to us with like an article of clothing or a spoon or something. Excuse me, not a spoon. Something that shows me it's real time right now. Like, Kelly, hold up a spoon, blink a, right. Talking about a spoon.
Stand on one leg, hop up and down.
Yes.
Blink 3 times with your left eye.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, well, we gonna see. Because do you see the clip that says she's okay?
There was no video. It was just
somebody lying.
It was just the text.
But can I also just say Kelly Price is the 3rd celebrity this month that has been reported missing by her friends and family. And I can't confirm this for Kelly Price, but the first 2 celebrities, they were just taking mental health time for themselves. They just disconnected. I think the last celebrity, I can't remember her name, but from Doctor Who, they spotted her in Trader Joe's grocery shopping.
Okay, so
she wasn't actually missing. Right. So I'm curious. I mean, because, and I'm not saying anything about Kelly Price's family. I don't know anything, but sometimes the people that you have to take a break from are your friends and family.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she's. That's why I said someone needs to confirm if she's actually missing or not. And like you said, if she's safe, but she doesn't. I don't want to feel like as a person, just because she's a celebrity, we're entitled to her, like whatever she's going through personally. Like if she wants to disconnect, then she should be able to do that. So I'm on the fence about that as well. Like it would be great to have some type of confirmation. That's why I said, can it just come from some legal source, like a police officer that's neutral? But that's just me.
I get what you're saying.
And there's something to be said about being able to have, your privacy. So I definitely understand those 2 sides of it. It's like, okay, so we want to respect, her privacy, but also we're looking at this at the grand scheme of things and what we've been seeing as a whole and how we haven't been necessarily been given information on missing people, or there hasn't been a confirmation on whether someone is missing or not. So we want to know
Yeah, and I mean, I get what you're saying too, Charmaine, with the cops stepping in, because Kelly Price actually was listed on the National Crime Information Center as a missing person. So I feel like at least if you're in that database, then the, not the government, police officers owe us a duty to say at least, hey, she's okay, or at least inform her family that she's okay, and then her family can put out a statement if they feel comfortable. But I was looking on the Black and Missing Foundation's webpage, and of course, they say the coverage of white and minority victims is not proportionate. That there are nearly 40% of missing persons are persons of color, yet we make up 13% of the population. That is extremely scary to me. And so they also listed possible reasons for the disparity in treatment when a person of color goes missing. One is that they initially classify people as runaways instead of a missing person. So then that delays the amount of time that a person can actually be searched for, because they're treating them as a runaway at first. So you get the wrong alert. You're not getting an Amber Alert like you would normally get for a missing person or missing child. Also, too, that they're being labeled as criminals or associated with criminals. So people are automatically thinking, oh, they're a criminal, or they have a family member that's a criminal, so it's got to be drug or gang related. So they're just kind of brushing that off. And then the third reason they give is desensitization, believing that minorities are already living in poor and impoverished conditions, and crime is just a regular part of their life.
Most definitely.
That was really shocking to me.
That one does not shock me.
I think we think like that too. I think not just white people think like that about us. I think we do the same thing, at least in that situation. Because sometimes we are like that, so we're just like, oh well, that's just a life. What movie was that? People die every day. Who said that? What movie was that? I forgot. Was it?
I can't remember, but I feel like I've heard that just in regular life, not even a movie.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yep.
But I never thought, like, why are we treated differently? Like, what are the the reasons behind it? But for them to just kind of put it on paper like that, it just really made me feel a little bit sad. Like, damn, people are really out here thinking this way about Black people. Yeah. Well,
it was paid in full.
Oh goodness, yeah. Well, Gabby Petito's funeral was actually held today. So may she rest in peace. And I'm really hoping that her family will receive some sort of justice, and that Mr. Laundrie, if he's still alive, will either turn himself in, or
you think Dog the Bounty Hunter is going to
turn himself in? Hopefully, I don't think Dog the Bounty Hunter going to find nobody.
I'm still so confused by him. Like, I don't understand how you come back and then you disappear again. Like, I'm just so confused on how that even happens.
We'll ever have an arrest in this case. He's a coward.
Yeah. That's what's making me think, if he's out there in this national reserve or national park hiding out, I feel like he's probably going to try to take himself out without ever having closure or justice for the family,
Yeah.
Have you guys ever... Oh, go ahead.
I was just wondering, like, do we think that maybe he had a plan to get out of the country? Like, that he's no longer here in the country?
With $1,000.
Listen, we don't know what the man had going on. He could have had some stash somewhere else. He could have,
But he came back to Florida. We're not bordering nothing but water. He could have went to California and walked across the border.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
Texas is closer. Like, I'm just so confused.
I don't think he had a game plan. He was just like, oh, she missing, whatever. They're just going to say she died out there, and then I'm going to go back and live my privileged lifestyle here. Because that is a privilege, believe it or not, to be able to return somewhere without the person you're on a trip with.
Yes.
And then
that would not be a suspect at all. Like, I don't understand how that happened.
Person of interest.
Right. Like, you come back and she's not with you and you have no answer. Like
how do you even
I don't
answer
understand
that?
how that happens.
Well, I don't know.
Right. She was
Do
here
y'all
a few
think
minutes ago
that
and now
if
she's
it
gone.
was-
Like, I don't get it.
Do y'all think if the characters were a little bit different, that the outcome would be different? For example, if Brian was Black and had killed Gabby just as is, do you think he would only be a person of interest and not dead?
He would be dead.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The cops would have killed him at the stop.
He would
For the domestic violence?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I mean, if it wasn't the cops, maybe somebody in her family would have, you know.
Or when he
Right.
returned, he would have been in jail. Like when he returned and she was not with him, he would be locked up somewhere. I don't understand how you come back, she is not with you, and you still have the opportunity to go out into the woods. Like,
Right. Just to say, hey, I'm going hiking. Bye.
yeah, she
Boy,
gone.
you ain't going
Yeah.
nowhere.
Like,
What about
had he been
if
black, he would have been in jail.
exactly? Okay, well, what about this scenario? If Brian were black and then Gabby was black, a black female, do you think it would be some different
We
treatment?
wouldn't even hear about this.
Agreed.
Right.
Wow.
We wouldn't
That's
know.
a great point.
Maybe a blurb on the 5 o'clock news, and
Quite
that's about
possibly,
it.
but
No
I don't think
names
we
or
hear.
anything.
You'd see an episode of it on TV One.
Oh, and everybody don't even got TV One.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
That's true.
Some of y'all listening don't even know what TV One is. Have you guys ever been part of a missing persons case, or you know a family or friend?
My sister was.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
She ran off with somebody.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she's
Oh,
fine. But
man.
she was
Oh,
gone
okay.
for 3 weeks.
But was she listed as a runaway at first, or was she
Yes.
listed as a
Yes.
okay?
Yep.
But was it because you guys truly thought it was a runaway scenario, or
No.
y'all thought?
No, this was completely out of the blue.
So it was an involuntary placement for her to be a runaway, so she got placed on that list instead of a missing persons list.
Yep.
Wow. So that buys
That's
into
crazy.
what that website was saying about listing a person as a runaway before you even get the opportunity to say missing person.
Yep. And they didn't want, and the police didn't want to really help because she was over 18.
Mm.
But it was, completely out of character of her. So.
Wow. And Gabby's 22 years old. How old was your sister at the time?
She was 18. Yeah.
So just an adult.
Just a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the age, just making the age mark for an adult, but yes, definitely still a child. Wow. Dang, Phil. Is she all right though?
Yeah, she's fine.
Okay. Did she talk about what happened?
She just ran off with somebody, some guy.
So how did she come back? She was like, "Hey, y'all."
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Wow.
You know what? You know what?
Ma'am, you got some explaining to do.
Yes.
And you in time out for 3 weeks, boo. You got
Yes.
3 weeks of explaining to do.
Wow.
She went to a different state and all that stuff.
Oh my God. Well, I'm glad she's, alive. I'm glad that scenario was a little different.
Yeah, she's fine.
What about you guys? Have y'all ever been part of an investigation like that, or?
I haven't been part of an investigation, but there was a boy here, Christopher Barrios, that went missing. And it was neighbors that actually had him. They ended up killing him, but he was the same age as my little brother. So I think about him every year. Every year that my brother has a birthday, I think about Christopher Barrios. Just because of what happened. It's a sad case. There was some activity. I don't want to use any trigger words or whatever, but they did torture him in a way before they ended his life. So it was very sad. And it's like the police were, searching the neighborhood, and they were watching the police search the neighborhood, and he was right there in their trailer. So
Oh my God. That reminds me of that story with the black man that ended up finding was it a whole bunch of little white girls that were in a house?
Up in
It was in
Cleveland?
Ohio.
Yeah.
Up in Cleveland, yes.
Wow.
Oh, the I ate ribs with this dude. That guy.
The who?
He's famous for his quote that he said. What's that guy's name was Castro, who kidnapped.
because
the
he
girls
was
in
like,
Ohio.
"But white girl, hold on to
Yeah.
you, something's wrong," or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
My husband used to live in Cleveland. He said he used to walk by that house. He said, I remember
Oh
that
my
house.
God.
Yes. Where those girls were held.
Dang, that's crazy, man.
Charles Ramsey, that was his name.
Yes.
Yes, that's him.
Well, thank God for him, man. That's
Yes.
man. Well, we can move on to the next segment, which is called the Big Subpoena Moment. The Big Subpoena. Yes. So
Come
this
on,
is typically
picture.
Right?
this is typically where I'm talking about something that just really irks me. So y'all remember how I told y'all I went to the beach yesterday, right? Because, I like to keep my little tan. If I don't keep a tan, I look sick, unfortunately. Anywho, I was out there and some people decided that it's optional to wear sunscreen. And I don't know if the leather look for people is in, but I hate that. Why do you come to Florida and go to the beach and not wear sunscreen?
Can I say something about that?
Okay, come on.
No, because she got a little mischievous smile going on. What you about to say?
As somebody who's allergic to sunscreen, I can actually understand why people won't put on sunscreen.
But Shannon, y'all all can vouch for me on this. Shannon, you go to the beach with a whole get up, okay? There is no sun touching you.
Right.
Now,
it's a whole building that she brings.
Yes, but the sun does touch me. I set up so that there can be comfort, but I love the beach. I love the water. I love getting the vitamin D out there. The issue for me is, I mean, we found out when I was 11 that I was allergic to sunscreen. We were at a camp, and mom was like, you guys have to wear sunscreen. We put it on. They had a little lip balm that had, the SPF in it, and my skin looked like gravel. So I prefer leather to gravel. You feel me,
Shannon? But you don't
thing
like
is,
a piece
but
of leather.
you take precautions though. I think the point is
that's the
taking
thing. What I
precautions.
did is, and this would just happen recently in the last few years, that I started finding things that I could use for my body, for my sensitivities. But before that, I just had to deal with the fact that if I got burned, I got burned. I had to stay away from people who, and you all know it, when we went to the beach, I stayed away from you all when you were spraying, the sunscreen and everything, because, I mean, if not, I end up sick. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of taking that chance. But I do think we need to be protecting our skin as best as we can, which is why, like I said, in the past few years, I've come up with or found some natural ways. They've got hypoallergenic ways to protect yourself from the sun now. And so that wasn't always available.
Yeah, I think that you might be an outlier when it comes to that, though. I don't think Can you put Dog the Bounty Hunter back up there? Because I feel it in my spirit. I feel it in my spirit. Look at that. Now you can't. He allergic to sunscreen, Shannon?
Man, I don't know what this man got going on in his person.
Shannon, look at him.
I refuse. No.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what makes me upset. Dog is not allergic to no sunscreen. So I'm just gonna say, if you come to Florida,
I take it back.
If you come to Florida and you are not allergic to sunscreen, please put some sunscreen on. Now is not the time to be going to the hospital for like burns and stuff, because you'll go in there, you could catch COVID, you could be in there for the rest of your life.
You know,
and there are healthy alternatives.
There definitely are, and to that point, because I'm allergic to sunscreen, we went out of the country. My mom would not put on sunscreens because we normally are all over each other. She wouldn't put it on so that I wouldn't get sick, and she ended up burned bad. And we had a conversation thereafter. Ma'am, you got to do what you got to do for your body. I will do what I need to do for me, but you can't. I mean, she's always going to be a mom, and she'll always try to protect me. But please, put on your mask first. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How they tell you on the airplane, if the plane is going down, make sure you apply your mask before you try to help somebody else.
Yep.
So that's one thing that I tried to say to her. Look, she was burned up so bad she could barely even touch herself without pain.
And I've been there before, yeah. And I wonder if people be seeing me on the beach and like laughing, because I sure was reapplying. Like if I felt something start to get a little too hot, I'm like, nope, let me go ahead and laugh at it. But I hope they're not like, why is this African American young lady putting on this sunscreen? I wonder if they judge me.
They were.
What is that, melatonin?
They were thinking
melatonin.
They were thinking,
and there's so many sunblocks and sunscreens coming out for Black people now that don't turn us that ashy color or whatever sunscreen does. So we have alternatives. We have to stop acting like we're not that we can't get sunburned as well when we go to
skin
Florida.
cancer.
Yeah. Right.
Because I know I burn. I learned that when I went to the Bahamas and I was 7 years old. Never again. I'm always going to have some sunscreen on.
But can we also talk about applying lotion? That should be a daily.
That really, Quiet Storm. Ain't nobody say nothing about lotion on here.
Well, what she said is, by the way, while you trying to protect your skin, can you stop being ashy?
Because it bothers me when you're ashy.
Let's not be ashy. Yeah.
Is she calling one of us out? Because I do be ashy.
She's not calling me out.
But that also
Shannon, she was looking up at the box up there when she said it.
The wrong box then, because I heavily put.
I'm not talking about any of y'all. I'm just saying in general.
Who you talking about then, Tiffany?
All too often, people, and I'm like, listen, please apply the moisture because your older self will thank you. Please.
Yes. And it's usually right in here, right in this little area. They missing.
No, it's everywhere. It's legs, feet, elbows.
You know what? Because I'm looking like, let me make.
Right in the little area.
Well, y'all, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. But before we do that, how can we find y'all? What are y'all socials? Do y'all hang out with people? Do y'all interact with the regular people in the world? Charmaine, what's your socials?
I stay home.
Afromesiac with a K, Afromeezyak. That's Instagram and Twitter. I'm not on Twitter a lot, but Instagram I do post sometimes. I've been locked in the house since they told us to shelter in place for 2 weeks 2 years ago. So not really out and about. You can catch me on social media.
That's what's up. So they can come hang out with you on the IG page.
Yes.
Shanton, how can we hang out with you?
Okay, so I need to get myself right with social media, but I am at Voice Maximizer and at MYV Law Firm. That's at MYV Law Firm and at Voice Maximizer on all social media. It's just whether or not you see me post. That might be the concern.
Right. So you post when you want to. Ain't nobody finna tell you what to do on your pages.
Exactly. See?
I become a different person when I have eyelashes on. Okay, Tiffany. So how can the people hang out with you?
Yes, you can find me on Palms to Heart Script. That's PALMSHARASCRIPT. Palms to Heart Script. That's where you'll find me.
All right. And for the people that can read, that information was on the screen as well. Okay, Courtney. How can we hang out with you, girl?
Instagram is your best bet. Like, I love Instagram, and it's at CH Paris. Very simple. Paris with 2 R's.
All right. Paris. I pronounced it right. Y'all don't know how to pronounce that. And then to our special guest who was not able to make it today, no drama Vonda, Miss Vonda Bailey Shaw. Y'all can find her. She already viral and everything.
She everywhere.
Y'all just Google her.
Yeah. Support Court with Vonda B.
Yes. Baby girl is doing it.
Yes, support Court. Yes, I'm about to go watch some episodes right now. All right, y'all. Y'all already know how y'all can hang out with me, Kyla A. Coleman on Facebook, Kai_LYFE on IG. I'll just be messing around on there. It's nothing professional on those pages at all. But if you would like some professional help, first of all, call your therapist, then you can call me. And you can look on the website. It's colemanlaw.net. But until next time, guys, thank y'all so much for helping me out today.
Yes.
We're gonna ride this beat.
Y'all. Yes.